Hey guys, my name's Colin and this is my review of the New Balance Hierro V9 after 100 kilometers. So I'll start things off by saying this thing is an absolute trail beast. I absolutely love what they've done with the new Hierro. So I've ran in the 5, 7, 8, and now the 9, and this is by far my favorite. I've always liked the previous Hierro versions, but the updates they've made here is exactly what I thought would improve the Hierro, and they've nailed it in every aspect in my opinion. They don't try to do anything crazy. There's no expensive super foams here. There's no carbon fiber plates. It's just an all-around great trail runner. But let's get into some details and start things off with the fit. So I'm a 10.5 in almost all my sneakers, and that's what I originally tried on in the Hierro, and I ended up going a half size up. So I do have the Hierro V8 here, and I do find that they are a little bit more accommodating in the toe box than the 9. The 9 in my true 10.5 size just felt a little bit snug compared to the size 11. So I ended up going with that size 11, but if I think I could do it over again, I would just stick with my true to size because the upper does break in a little bit, but the toe box definitely does feel a little more snug compared to the previous versions. So if you're in between sizes, you might want to size up a half a size if you want that little extra space. But if you like a very snug one-to-one fit, then just go true to size. And another great thing about the New Balance shoes is if it's a popular model, then they come in multiple widths. So if the regular width does feel a little too tight, there's 2 more options to get width-wise, which is just fantastic. So I really could have gone either way, but I think I just prefer a much more snug fit, and I kind of wish I had stuck with that true to size. But yeah, the shoe is just very traditional and solid overall when it comes to the fit otherwise. I found it had a great heel lockdown. It cups your heel nicely and comfortably. I had no issues fit-wise in the midfoot. Everything felt very comfortable. There was barely any break-in time for this shoe. It was comfy right out of the box. But yeah, if you like a snug fit, go true to size. If you're kind of in between sizes and would prefer a little bit of space in the toe box, I would say go up half a size. So next up is the upper. So the upper is made up mostly of this thicker mesh. I'm running a lot in the winter here, so I can't really tell you how breathable these are. I do feel like they may run a little hot because this upper is so thick and comfortable. You have a full gusset here that makes the tongue stay in place. Nothing weird going on with the tongue here. It's just very traditional and comfortable. And actually the details on this Hierro version are really nice when you take a good look at them. You have like these cool multicolored pebbled overlays. You have this really nice stitching going on with the N on each side of the foot. Another thing that you don't see as often lately on a lot of trail runners is a good toe protection, and this has a very solid, probably the best one I've ever ran in, to be honest. After just a little over 100K, they just feel like they're going to last a long time too. They look and feel like they're built tough. And next up is the cushion. So the cushion has switched up a little bit here. It is a dual density setup of 2 slabs of Fresh Foam X. The bottom slab being a little more dense compared to a softer slab on top. So the dense midsole underneath is supposed to help with a little bit of stability. So the cushion is just super nice and super soft, but not soft enough that I felt unstable at any point. So I've seen 2 different stack heights online. One claims that this is a 42 millimeter stack in the heel and a 38 in the forefoot, making this a 4 millimeter drop, which is a change from the prior versions of the Hierro. But I've also seen a New Balance spokesperson say that this is a 30 mil stack in the heel and a 26 in the forefoot. And to me, when you kind of measure it up from the outside here, it does look more like a 42 millimeter stack. But either way, it's a very comfortable stack. It feels very stable on trail for a high cushion trail runner. And you can just bomb over all kinds of terrain in this shoe and feel very protected. I also think that this shoe could go very long distances, like 100K, 100 milers, in a very comfortable way. So next up is the traction. So the traction on the previous version was kind of an odd traction setup that I hadn't really seen before on other sneakers. So they've gone back to the Vibram Mega Grip here on the Hierro 9, and they have a 6mm lug depth here. These things were just gripping fantastic. I've taken them pretty much through everything here because the weather has just been wet, rainy, muddy, snowy, icy, and I've found that these just have done really well in almost all conditions. I've even ran quite a bit of road mileage in these, and you do kind of feel those lugs when you're on the road, but not as much as you would expect because of this nice high stack of cushion. But I do think this has become more of a true trail runner compared to the previous Hierros, which always felt more like a door to trail type of shoe. But yes, the lugs here are just fantastic and they're going to perform great in almost all conditions. And next up is the weight. So a men's size 9 is weighing in just over 10 ounces, and that's probably the only negative I can come up with this shoe, is that it's a little bit heavy. So the final verdict of the New Balance Hierro V9 after 100 kilometers is, as you can probably tell, I absolutely love the Hierro 9. I think it's an awesome update. In my review of the Hierro 7, I actually asked for the exact changes that happened here in the Hierro 9. I do kind of wish that they had just gone full trail runner with these, since they did drop the weight, increase the lug depth, spread out the lugs, and made them better in more gnarly conditions. I think it would have been cool if they maybe increased the forefoot cushion a little bit and made that a 4mm drop compared to an 8mm. I think that little change in this shoe would have just made this one of the best trail shoes of the year.
See, I did say that. Very clever.
So when I saw the new specs on the Hierro 9, I was absolutely pumped because I'm a big fan of the Hierro, and making this one a 4mm drop and increasing that forefoot stack is exactly what I was hoping for. The Hierro does come in a couple other colorways. I don't know why, but when I saw this super plain gray dad shoe vibe colorway, I was like, yes. But yes, I absolutely love the Hierro 9. I highly recommend it. And if you have any questions about the Hierro, just let me know down in the comments and I'll try to respond to everyone. But that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching my review, and we'll see you guys on the next one.